Salut, c'est Géraldine, bienvenue sur Comme une Française TV, Sound French, even to the French. Today we're going to talk about the dreaded on, the one we use in spoken French instead of nous. What is on? On is un pronom, that's a technical name. Just like je, tu, il and elle, nous, vous, il and elle, the same. If you want to use it with a verb, conjugate it with the same way you conjugate il and elle. For example, il mange, elle mange, on mange. Same conjugation. Il mange, elle mange, on mange. Also, il finit, elle finit, on finit. Same conjugation. Or, il vient, elle vient, on vient. Same conjugation. But while il means he and elle means she, one means somebody, someone. We call this un pronom indéfini. Un pronom indéfini. Another technical name. For example, on n'apprend pas au vieux singe à faire la grimace. On n'apprend pas au vieux singe à faire la grimace. Literally, you can teach an old monkey to make faces. It means you can teach an old dog new tricks. That's for proverbs. The same for avec des si, on mettrait Paris en bouteille. Avec des si, on mettrait Paris en bouteille. Literally, with these ifs, we'd put Paris in a bottle. It means if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. On is very, very often used in proverbs, as you saw. On sometimes translates into you in English, but these proverbs in French use on, and you can't change them when you talk to someone. For example, you wouldn't say avec des si tu mettrais Paris en bouteille. No, it would be a nonsense. We use on to mean generally anyone, someone. All of us, all this, okay? All this. But in spoken French, we have a very specific way to use on. On instead of nous in spoken French. As you learned in books, the English we translates into nous. For example, we eat becomes nous mangeons. We walk becomes nous marchons. But if you're in the street and you tell a French friend on the phone, tout va bien, nous visitons Paris. Tout va bien, nous visitons Paris. She will unconsciously think, that's weird. Not that you are weird, not, but that's what you said is completely unnatural in spoken French. Unless you're a very, very important person talking to another very, very important person in a diplomatic meeting, for example, or any other very formal event, no one in France uses nous in spoken French. And it's even in written French, it's 99% of the time far too formal. We use on instead. You should have said tout va bien, on visite Paris. Tout va bien, on visite Paris. Now even I feel better saying this. And for the pronom réfléchi, we use on in the same way as il and elle. Okay, let's see it together. For example, nous nous promenons dans Lyon. Nous nous promenons dans Lyon becomes on se promène dans Lyon. On se promène dans Lyon, you see? Nous nous lavons les mains, on se lave les mains, as in elle se lave les mains, il se lave les mains, on se lave les mains, you see? Nous is used for formal writing, for example, your exams, formal letters, etc., and very, very formal speaking. If you're a little bit more advanced, here are more elements. First, le pronom possessif. Le pronom possessif we use with on is notre ou nos. Notre ou nos. For example, on a fait vacciner notre chien le mois dernier. On a fait vacciner notre chien le mois dernier. We had the dog vaccinated last month. On a fini nos glaces avant que tu arrives. On a fini nos glaces avant que tu arrives. We finished our ice creams before you arrived. Le participe passé. The participe passé agrees with the plural just like it would with nous, but with être only, don't forget. For example, on s'est mise au piano l'année dernière. On s'est mise au piano l'année dernière. We started playing the piano last year. On est retourné voir nos parents à Noël. On est retourné voir nos parents à Noël. We went back to our parents' place at Christmas. Same with adjectives. For example, on se fait belle pour le dîner au Ritz. On se fait belle pour le dîner au Ritz. We are dressing ourselves up for tonight's dinners at the Ritz. Have a good evening then. Nous plus on. You will also hear nous plus on, but don't say that to your French grammar teacher, and obviously don't use this in exams. Nous plus on insist on the us part. For example, nous, on aime bien les marguerites. Nous, on aime bien les marguerites. We like daisies. We like marguerites. Denis et moi, on mange du fromage à chaque repas. Denis et moi, on mange du fromage à chaque repas. It really insists on Denis and I. Denis and I, we eat cheese at each meal. You see the nous plus on? Don't spread this around too much, it would shock many French people who are in love with the real, true French grammar. Not sure I'm supposed to teach you that actually. Let's do an exercise now. Transform these phrases from nous to on. Nous finissons de tondre la pelouse avant l'arrivée des invités. Nous finissons de tondre la pelouse avant l'arrivée des invités. We finish mowing the lawn before the guests arrive. Okay, transform this into on. Ready? On finit de tondre la pelouse avant l'arrivée des invités. That's easy. Here only nous finissons becomes on finit. Just that. Nous finissons becomes on finit. Another one? Nous nous maquillons pour l'anniversaire de Jules. Nous nous maquillons pour l'anniversaire de Jules. We are putting some makeup for Jules' birthday. Transform this into on. Ready? Okay. On se maquille pour l'anniversaire de Jules. On se maquille pour l'anniversaire de Jules. Here you see nous nous maquillons. Nous nous maquillons becomes on se maquille. On se maquille. Last one? Ok. Nous avons décidé de vendre notre maison. Nous avons décidé de vendre notre maison. We've decided to sell our house. Transform this into on and really look at the phrase. Are you done? This translates into on a décidé de vendre notre maison. On a décidé de vendre notre maison. Here, notre maison stays because as we said before, the pronoun possessive remains. Nous avons décidé de vendre notre maison becomes on a décidé de vendre notre maison. Okay? Et toi, have you heard of this use of on instead of nous in spoken French? Do you use it in France? Have you noticed this difference between the formal nous and the spoken on? Where? Share your experience in French if you dare in the comments below the video. We can all learn from your story. The comment section on comeinfrancaise.com is the best place to start discussions and ask questions. If you like this video on the dreaded on, share it with your friends on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, anywhere you want. Help me spread the word about Comme une Française. Merci. Love France, dream of sounding French even to the French learn how with me, Géraldine on comeinfrancaise.com, and subscribe to my email updates for exclusive tips on real life in French every Tuesday, plus an exclusive video lesson, Introduce Yourself in French. And it's free. Merci for watching Comme une Française TV, sound French even to the French. Allez, salut!